There are a lot of people talking about obstruction of justice in the context of what Trump did and what Robert Mueller investigated. So what is obstruction of justice? Broadly speaking, obstruction happens anytime someone corruptly interferes with a government investigation or a proceeding. There are at least 7 different laws that apply to obstruction of justice in the federal courts. Among them are whenever somebody corruptly persuades a witness to either refrain from giving testimony or even to destroy evidence. We know that Robert Mueller investigated at least 4 different areas of obstruction of justice. First, the firing of FBI Director James Comey. Second, President Trump's efforts to persuade then-Attorney General Jeff Sessions not to recuse himself from the Mueller investigation. Third, Robert Mueller looked into whether or not the Trump team crafted a misleading statement about that infamous Trump Tower meeting. And fourth, Robert Mueller investigated whether or not President Trump dangled his pardon power in front of potential witnesses to encourage them maybe not to testify. Robert Mueller investigated whether Trump and his attorneys used the hope, the possibility of a pardon in order to entice potential witnesses to either testify in favor of the president or not testify at all. Specifically, Mueller investigated whether or not Trump's team induced people like Paul Manafort or Michael Flynn to testify or not testify while those two were being indicted and prosecuted. The public learned about new evidence last week that was known for some time at least to other folks who were able to see the unredacted Mueller report. Trump attorney John Dowd left a voicemail for one of Michael Flynn's attorneys that has a lot of people talking about whether or not that amounted to obstruction of justice. In November 2017, the pressure is ratcheting up on Michael Flynn. John Dowd leaves a voicemail asking for a heads up. John Dowd finishes with a line about the president's feelings towards Michael Flynn and how they haven't changed. That very same day, Michael Flynn and his team exit the joint defense agreement with President Trump and other potential defendants. In December that same year, Michael Flynn pleads guilty to 1 count of lying to the FBI. There are 2 ways of looking at this John Dowd voicemail. On the one hand, he may just be asking for a heads up. Let us know if you're going to withdraw from this joint defense agreement, and if you do, the president still has warm feelings for you either way. Another way of interpreting this voicemail is more nefarious. It could be seen as John Dowd asking for continued sharing of information, and at the end, suggesting the president's warm feelings are really more about a potential pardon. John Dowd has fired back in a statement saying that any attempt to suggest that he was trying to convince Flynn to reconsider his testimony is a baseless smear campaign against him and the president. Here's what I'll be watching for in the next month. Congress now has some really tough choices to make. Robert Mueller already said the president didn't commit a crime. Now, with the release of this John Dowd voicemail, does this add fuel to the fire for impeachment? Or is it just more of the same evidence that didn't rise to the level of obstruction of justice as a federal crime?
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.